Hello everyone, my name is Rudy Garcia-Tolson and welcome to Nothing is Missing. Models, athletes, and artists. We hope that you enjoy this. We hope that you feel empowered and inspired. Our first model we're going to introduce is Matthew Lynch. Enjoy.
I guess what I'm getting around to saying is that do you really think that your story is that different from anyone else's? Or do you think, well, yes, it is because, I am an amputee. And then to follow it up, at this time, you're getting a lot of recognition, for being who you are. You're in the gym and you've done all these, photo sessions. You got one with me coming up. How does that parlay into who you are? I know it's a loaded few questions there, but take a stab at it.
I always go back and forth with the inspirational thing because I just feel that no matter what anybody goes through, everybody goes through something different. And no matter what people go through, that they can really, if they want to succeed, they want to get better, they can. Mm-hmm. You can, no matter what life throws at you, you can succeed, and that's an inspirational story. So I feel like if you want to just zero in on, as an amputee, I don't believe so, because I'm used to this my whole life, but I didn't lose it. So I just felt that I'm just doing my thing, kind of. That's why I'm just doing my thing, I'm just going on. But if you want to take my whole story into account, then I would probably be more inclined to say yes.
Has it really ever held you back or anything? Has it really ever?
Yeah. I had a pretty difficult childhood. Had really hard time up until I was probably 23, something like that. And I was also extremely thin as another consequence of the issues I was going through. And I was same height, but I was about 40 pounds lighter.
Wow.
So I was extremely thin. So I was so thin that that when I lay down, it would hurt.
Wow.
So I was going through a really, really difficult bottom, and I finally bottomed out, and then I was like, all right, time to get my crap together. And I basically just was like, all right, I'm going to start the gym. And I tell people this, when they really ask for a more detailed story, that, the gym really saved my life.
What do you want people to, when they see you in this exhibition, and keep in mind, we won't show this interview until the documentary comes out. Yeah. What do you want people to see when they see you? What do you want people to think?
I guess what I want them to see is a no excuses attitude. That I want them to see in the photo, not knowing anything about my past or my story or anything like that, and be like, this dude has been through shit. And now he, look at him now kind of thing. You know how a picture you could really sometimes feel the emotion and feel, so I want them to feel the emotion of me, of my struggle, but look at me now, you can do it.
Well, I know we definitely looked at you now, and we're very happy you're here. We're looking forward to the photo session.
Same.
Matthew, what can we do but say thank you? Thank you very much. We're so proud you're involved with it. So.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Now, as I'm waiting for Wesley Allen to show up to interview me, I think we can jump into our second model, Victoria Canal, singer-songwriter. Hope you enjoy.
I think it's a privilege and a huge opportunity, the fact that I make music and perform in front of a lot of people, the fact that I can represent people who feel different or look different to others. It's a privilege for me and an honor, to represent the differently abled community, even in the slightest way. And I couldn't be happier to be exactly the way that I am, because I know that there's someone out there who's maybe younger than I am who would see me on stage and think to themselves, I can do that, or I can do whatever I was afraid to do before. And I wish I had had a hero who looked like me when I was little, and that's what I want to do for somebody else. Ultimately, I think representation is the most critical movement we can make towards society of understanding, acceptance, and self-acceptance. And there, you know, in the past, at least in my school experience, there's been a really harsh sort of isolation, and everybody feels like they're awkward and look different. And you know, for me, it was my arm, but another girl would be self-conscious about her nose, or another person would feel like they're too short or too fat or too whatever, this and that and the other. And we're all different, and so to only see beautiful, symmetrical, skinny, you know, very one type of person in the media, it doesn't help us to feel worthy. And the sooner we can see ourselves represented in the things we watch and the things we consume, I think the sooner we'll all find more self-acceptance in our daily lives. Like the amount of times in the past that I've introduced myself to someone and then they're like, because they don't know how to shake my hand, you know, that shouldn't be such a surprise anymore. As neither should meeting someone in a wheelchair or meeting someone who's epileptic or whatever it might be, blind. Everybody's born differently, and we should just be open. Always just assume that you know nothing and that you're here to learn all the things you can possibly learn. And that's what I found is the future. Hopefully, that's what I want to see in youth. And honestly, not to ramble on, but honestly, what I see the most hope in is kids that I meet who come up to me, look at my arm, and they're like touching it and like, oh, okay. And then they walk off and play with their friends, you know what I mean? And it's not such a conundrum. It's just, this is how it is, and move on. So I have hope in the kids, and I'm still a kid, so I want to be part of it, you know, and also express myself with music. That's what I really love to do. That gives me confidence, is my vocation, my passion, and excitement to keep learning and perfecting my craft.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Now, we're still waiting for Wesley. I don't know where he is.
Nor do I.
But that's all right. I think in between, we can take you behind the scenes to introduce you to top model Jaleesa Graham.
Yes, gorgeous. You're going to love this.
Can't wait.
I don't know where Wesley is. I'm sorry, man. I tell you, he's usually on time. So
It's all right. It
yeah.
happens.
Oh,
Hey, there he is.
finally. Wesley, let us see you, buddy. I'm going to leave this to you guys. Talk to Jaleesa.
How's it going?
Hey.
I think we're good. We're good. If you just basically, sort of work towards that as much, just so I can catch your eyes, like that sparkle. It looks really nice, actually. It looks great with all the other sparkles.
Okay. You're beautiful. I love the sparkles. The ombre look.
The ombre.
I do.
Nice. You can start to work backwards, yeah, like a leaning, a little more casual. Very nice.
I know everyone has like a different understanding or thoughts about like what beauty is, but what does beauty mean to you, and what's your overall definition of beauty?
Good question. Wow.
Thank you.
I think beauty definitely comes from within. That's what a lot of people say, but I think it's true. I think some people, even if you're like physically beautiful, if you don't know that you're beautiful or feel beautiful, I feel like that shows more than your parents. So I definitely think you have to just be comfortable and get to a point where you're like confident in yourself and love the way you look and love how you were made. And I think it took me a while to get there, but I just love who I am, and like the little things that are different about me, I just take it as being unique, and I embrace it and I love it.
Great. Okay, great.
The whole point of this project is to celebrate individuality and the differences people have. To recognize those, and instead of be ashamed of them,
Yes.
celebrate them.
Yes, you want to
And-
put them out there and let them like this is who we are. This is what we're made of, and just because we're different, just because we do something differently than any able-bodied person doesn't mean that it's bad. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It doesn't mean it's a negative thing. I think something that is just human. It's a human characteristic to be able to take something and do it differently and do it in a different way than the status quo tells us it needs to be done, and I think that's something that this project is really going to bring into light is the individuality of people. And at the end of the day, we are people. We are disabled. Some of us physically disabled. Some of us have some mental challenges. At the end of the day, we're all still people. We all kind of operate the same way. And I think that's something that this project is really going to bring to light is kind of the everybody is different in their own way, and that's okay.
So you mentioned earlier about the way kids see you, and
Absolutely. I think I want to add on to what you're saying. When kids see me on the streets, one of the first things they say is, "Mommy, look at the robot." They when they see me, they just don't know what's going on. And they refer to the movies that they've seen on TV, and they've seen cartoons, and they see guys with robot legs, maybe robot arms or whatever, and they assume that's what I am, And I think something that's cool about this project that we're doing is that it's going to change the way kids potentially view us. It's going to take away that wow factor. What are those? And it's going to educate them. And I think that's the big thing about what we're doing here is we want to educate. We want to educate these kids. We want them to know that there's people who are different, that it's okay to be different. And when you are different, you can still do everything the same as everybody else.
yeah, and to invite them into this showcase of a more positive representation of people with disabilities.
Absolutely. We want to bring the positive light in and not so much as a negative thing.
For you, what's the best thing about being yourself?
What's the best thing about being me is, I would say that there's not too many things that can really make me angry, make me upset. I'm not a sensitive person, which is kind of handy when you have people staring at you on a daily basis. Another thing is that I'm able to work hard, and I'm able to, if there's something that I want in my life and I know that it's going to be worth it, I'm going to work for it. And I think it's something. It doesn't. I don't see short term. I don't have New Year's resolutions because all my goals, all my things that I'm shooting for take 5, 10, 15 years. There's nothing short. Nothing comes easy in life, I believe. And so I think that's something that I love about myself is that I'm able to stay persistent and look at the long term, and that's something as an athlete is very, very useful. And it's something that as I'm growing older and starting to step into a different stage of my life and following my career, it's something that is invaluable. Something that I'm very grateful that I've learned over my athletic career.
The way you mention your long-term goals in your career, what do you think is the ultimate career goal for you?
I think the ultimate career goal for me, I don't know if there will ever be a finish line. I think the line of passion that I'm in at the moment, as far as making sure that the next generation of kids are fully equipped, are fully mentally capable of doing whatever they set their mind to, is a never-ending. It's never ending. There's always going to be somebody who recently becomes injured, who recently became born with a physical challenge, and there's always going to be somebody who's going to need some type of guidance from someone who has experience. And from my childhood to my teenage years to my adult years, I've experienced a lot of what these kids and adults are going through. And so I think that's something that, for me, is just going to continue on until I'm old with the walker. I think it's something that it's never going to end. And there's just so many people that can potentially be impacted. So the end goal, I couldn't tell you that, but I do know where I'm starting.
What do you want people to think or feel when they see you in these pictures?
I want people to say, man, that is awesome. That is true human spirit. That is something that I can be motivated by. That's something that it will inspire me. That's something that I want my kids to see. That's something that that all kids should see. That's what I want people to be inspired to feel and to think when they see all the people in the project. When they see all the photos, I want them to be empowered. I want them to feel like they themselves have the power to impact and change somebody else's life. Yeah.
Yeah.